Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used
18 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off.
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and recently ousted Thornton Township Supervisor, is at the center of a whirlwind of political drama, legal battles, and public criticism. From being removed from the Democratic ballot to facing accusations of reckless spending, her political career appears precariously close to collapse. However, the question remains, is this the end of her journey, or is she strategizing a comeback? The tension peaked on a chilly evening in Homewood, Illinois, where hundreds gathered at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium for a rare Democratic caucus, the first in 30 years, to select nominees for Thornton Township leadership roles. At the heart of the heated event was Henyard, fighting fiercely to retain her position as township supervisor. With emotions running high and the future of local leadership at stake, the caucus became a dramatic political showdown, leaving many speculating about Henyard's next move.
The caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing.
Even before the event began, cracks in Tiffany Henyard's plans started to appear. According to caucus rules, any candidate running for Thornton Township Supervisor needed a full slate of 8 certified candidates, including positions like highway director, clerk, assessor, and trustees. However, Henyard's ticket lacked a certified assessor, disqualifying her from the race. As a result, her name was excluded from the ballot, and Illinois State Senator and Thornton Township Democratic Committee leader Napoleon Harris seized the nomination for himself, securing his place as the Democratic candidate for supervisor. Tension filled the room as Henyard confronted Harris, accusing him of conducting an illegal and unfair process. "You didn't run any of this the right way," she shouted, calling the proceedings unlawful. Her frustration was palpable, and the atmosphere quickly soured. Supporters of Harris escalated the tension by mocking Henyard with a rendition of a late 1960s pop classic. Shaken, Henyard stormed out of the auditorium, leaving behind a scene that resembled a dramatic political soap opera. Headlines practically wrote themselves as Henyard's political ambitions appeared derailed, at least for the moment. Outside the auditorium, Henyard vowed to fight back, claiming the entire process had been rigged against her. According to her, many of her supporters, including senior citizens she had arranged to transport via buses, were shut out of the venue, which had reached its 600-person capacity before they arrived. She alleged this was no coincidence, declaring the situation illegal and promising swift legal action. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow," she proclaimed. True to her word, the fallout was as messy as her dramatic exit. Henyard's attorney argued that the caucus rules had been selectively enforced and that her slate of candidates had been unfairly disqualified. Meanwhile, Harris's team maintained that the process was fair and adhered to established rules. His attorney emphasized that the rules had been made available beforehand, dismissing Henyard's claims as unfounded. "This is the process that's been in place long before me," Harris stated, defending the caucus as a legitimate and democratic tradition. For Harris, the caucus was a strategic victory, eliminating the need for a larger election battle. For Henyard, however, it was a calculated effort to silence her and her supporters, leaving her fighting for both her political survival and a path to vindication.
There are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not.
While Tiffany Henyard's political opponents celebrated their victory, her allies rallied in her defense, insisting she still had a path forward. Supporters suggested she could name a successful write-in campaign, leveraging her strong name recognition and loyal voter base. "I think enough people know her name to write her in," said Keith Price, a vocal Henyard ally. However, her political career has been marred by scandal, and critics view her latest defeat as a long-overdue reckoning. Over the past year, Henyard has faced allegations of corruption, reckless spending, and misuse of township resources. Reports revealed that township funds have been used for lavish trips, first-class flights, and expensive meals. In a particularly shocking revelation, Henyard was accused of spending tens of thousands of township dollars on Amazon purchases, leaving many questioning how such expenditures could possibly benefit her constituents. For her detractors, these controversies have overshadowed any remaining political aspirations she might hold.
Wow, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just.
Tiffany Henyard's leadership style has often been described as abrasive and confrontational, alienating colleagues and residents alike. During a recent Dolton Village Board meeting, she defiantly declared, "Like it or not, I am your mayor," prompting many attendees to walk out or turn their backs in protest, a stark display of the deep divisions within the community under her leadership. Compounding her challenges, Dolton has been without a permanent police chief for most of the year, leaving the department in turmoil. Henyard's hand-picked interim chief was recently forced out after a judge ruled him unqualified, further destabilizing the department. Morale among Dolton police officers has reportedly plummeted, with many feeling unsupported and overburdened. Henyard's handling of the police department and her polarizing leadership approach has only exacerbated the difficulties she faces, casting doubt on her ability to navigate the mounting crisis surrounding her administration.
Let her get back into being a mayor, and we already know she's not going to win that supervisor seat.
The lack of stable police leadership in Dolton has not only created internal chaos, but also sparked a public safety crisis. Residents have voiced increasing concerns about rising crime, with many blaming Tiffany Henyard's administration for failing to adequately support law enforcement. Critics allege that her focus on personal security, reportedly spending hundreds of thousands of township funds on her own police detail, has left the broader community vulnerable. More alarming are accusations that Henyard has weaponized the police department for personal and political gain. Several local business owners claim they were targeted for raids after refusing to make donations to events associated with Henyard or her public safety fund. These chilling allegations have sent shockwaves through the community, with business leaders condemning the actions as a blatant abuse of power. The claims have further eroded trust in Henyard's leadership, intensifying the backlash against her administration.
32 minutes to an individual that doesn't give a damn about anybody's time with her.
The controversy surrounding Tiffany Henyard's leadership has spilled into Dolton's finances, where her administration faces allegations of mismanagement and obstruction. Beyond a reported deficit, Henyard is accused of blocking grant funding for essential community projects. For instance, a $400,000 grant intended to revitalize local parks is at risk of expiring because her office has allegedly refused to issue the necessary permits. Park district officials have publicly criticized her, claiming she prioritizes political grudges over the needs of residents. The people of Dolton are paying the price for this petty feud, one official remarked. These financial disputes have further widened the rift between Henyard and her critics. Some trustees suggest her financial mismanagement is deliberate, accusing her of attempting to consolidate power. One trustee alleged her push to drastically reduce the salary for future township supervisors is a calculated move to ensure no one else has the resources to challenge her authority. This has fueled speculation that Henyard views her public roles as opportunities for personal gain rather than public service. Henyard's financial management has also come under intense scrutiny. A report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed that Dolton's general fund balance plummeted from over $5 million in 2021 to a deficit of more than $3 million by 2024. The report highlighted questionable expenses, including luxury purchases and unexplained credit card charges. Critics have called for greater accountability, with some going so far as to label Henyard the worst mayor in America.
Are your bosses? We are.
Despite mounting controversies, Tiffany Henyard remains defiant, dismissing her critics as political opportunists and vowing to continue fighting for her constituents. The show will go on, she declared. However, with ongoing legal battles, investigations, and a deeply divided community, her path to recovery seems uncertain. Henyard's defiance has not quelled the growing calls for accountability. Community activists and watchdog groups have begun organizing town halls and forums, demanding greater transparency from her administration. Some have even proposed petitioning for a state audit of Dolton's finances to uncover what they allege is unchecked corruption. If she's innocent, she should welcome a full investigation. But if she's guilty, the people deserve to know the truth, one activist stated. These efforts have transformed Henyard's challenges into a grassroots movement for change. Meanwhile, the public continues to watch with a mix of fascination and disbelief as social media buzzes with commentary on her latest controversies. Reactions range from harsh criticism, like one commenter saying, "That woman needs to be arrested and her assets seized," to sarcastic dismissal, with another remarking, "Bye, Felicia." At this point, Henyard's future remains uncertain. Will she rally her supporters and stage a political comeback? Or has she reached the final chapter of her tumultuous career? One thing is clear, her story is far from over. As investigations deepen and lawsuits accumulate, the drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard shows no signs of slowing down. Whether this latest scandal will finally bring her down or serve as yet another obstacle she overcomes remains to be seen in this unfolding political saga.